Good morning, fourth graders, and welcome to day 1 of adding and subtracting fractions. So the last couple weeks we've been working on equivalent fractions and figuring out which fraction is larger. Today we're going to start adding and subtracting them. So before we get started, we're going to do some vocabulary. So we're going to do pages 403, 405, and 406 together. And then on your own, you're going to be doing page 407, okay? So we're going to start off with what a unit fraction is. So the definition of a unit fraction is a fraction that has a numerator of 1. So an example of a unit fraction would be 1 over 3, okay? And we're also going to make a list of examples down here. So we have 1/5, 1/8, basically whatever fraction you can make with a 1 in the denominator, okay? So some non-examples, that means anything without a 1 in the numerator. So it could be 2/6, 7/8. These are not considered unit fractions. 9/10, 2/3, 4/5, okay? And then we're just going to use the fraction 1/3 and 1/5. So 1/3, an illustration of that, would be a bar model, and then 1 shaded in, right? And then actually we'll do 1/6. So let's pretend this circle's even. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're going to make 8 equal pieces. So now we're going to do 1/8, which means 1 piece out of the 8 are shaded in, okay? So unit fraction, easy. There's a 1 in the numerator. And once you have all of this written, we're going to flip on over to page 405, okay? So label the number line below to show 2/4 plus 1/4. So as you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So this would be 0, and this would be 1, right? So we have 2/4, so 1, 2/4. So this part is the 2/4. So we can shade that in this color. And then let me just grab my other color pen super fast. We'll use pink. So we have 2/4 on our number line, and then we're going to add another 4th, right? So this would be 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and 4/4, okay? So then we're going to add one more group of 4. So we're going to add this section now. So that means that 1/4 plus 2/4 is 3/4. And you can also think of that as 2/4 plus 1/4. We keep the denominator the same, and then we just add the numerators. However, this method only works if the denominators are the same. So it's just like adding apples and oranges. You can't, right? So if they're the same, this is the only time you can just look at the numerator. Okay? So let's try this one. So now we're going to try subtracting. So we're going to set up our number line again. So it's 4/5 minus 2/5. So that means we're going to have 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5. And then obviously the 1 is equivalent to 5/5, right? 1 whole shaded in. So first we're going to shade in 4/5. So we're going to go from the 0 to the 4. This is how much we are starting with, okay? And then from there, we're going to take away 2/5. So we're going to draw a little box above it. So this would be taking away 1/5. This would be taking up 2/5 because we're going backwards 2. Okay, so if that's the case, this is our new answer, okay? So 4/5 minus 2/5 is 2/5, right? And if we look 4/5 minus 2/5, our denominators are the same, so it's going to stay the same. And then 4 minus 2 is 2. So our difference is 2/5. Easy, right? Once you get the idea of fractions, adding and subtracting will be a breeze. So now, once you have this written, we're going to look at one more page, and then you're going to work on page 407. So let's look at page 406. And we're talking about some area models to model our fraction. So we have show 1/8 plus 2/8. So clearly, our circle is divided up into 8 pieces. So we're going to shade in 1/8 with the maroon. I'm going to circle it just so I know which color goes with what. And then with the pink, I'm going to shade in 2 more pieces. Kind of shade in 2/8. And then I can easily say after that 1/8 plus 2/8 is 1, 2, 3 out of the 8. So 1/8 plus 2/8 is equal to 3/8, okay? And then same idea here. We have 6/10 take away 2/10. So we're going to shade in 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'm going to use my darker color to cross out 2/10. We no longer need them. They're getting taken away. So take away 1, 2. We are left over with 4 out of the 10 shaded. So 6/10 minus 2/10 is 4/10, okay? Now, how are the number lines and area models alike? How are they different? They're alike because they show equal parts, right? So we could say number lines and area models both show shapes divided into equal parts. Now, they're also alike because you can show how to take away or add, right? So you can easily use these models to add or take away parts. However, number lines have more labeled than area models. So they're both great strategies when it comes to fractions. It's just a matter of which one makes the most sense to you. And with that, I want you to show me and tell me how you would solve 5/10 take away 3/10, okay? You can either use the area model or you can use the number line strategy, but I do want you to show me and tell me which strategy you decided to do. Once you do that, you are good to jump into your independent page, page 407, and then if you finish early, you're aiming for that green light on reflex. Happy fractions!